Hi, everyone. Welcome back to God's Whispers, a place where we take the time to pause and reflect on the word of the Lord. Have you ever wondered, why is this happening to me? I'm sure you have. When something painful happens, it's one of the first questions that we ask. Did I do something wrong? Is this a punishment? Is God trying to tell me something? Today's Gospel, according to John, chapter 9, verses 1 through 41, really puts that same question at hand. In the first century, many people believed that physical suffering was a result of personal sin. So when Jesus and his disciples saw a man who had been blind since birth, they asked, "Who sinned? Was it this man or his parents?" They assumed that someone must be to blame. But Jesus gave them a completely different answer. He said that the man's blindness was not a punishment. Instead, it would be a moment where God would be revealed. He healed the man. This miracle created such controversy, I'm sure you could imagine. Religious leaders refused to believe it. They questioned the man, they questioned his parents, even the miracle itself. Meanwhile, the man who was blind realized now who Jesus really was. And at the end of the story, the man who couldn't see physically now was able to see spiritually as well. And those who thought they understood everything, if you can follow the metaphor, now remain blind. So this story flips our expectations. Sometimes the people who seem the weakest end up seeing the truth most clearly. And sometimes people who think they understand everything miss what is right in front of them. Let's listen to the story, or the gospel, I should say. As Jesus passed by, he saw a blind man from birth. He spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and smeared the clay on his eyes, and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed, and came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had seen him earlier as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit in bed?" Some said, "It is." But others said, "No, he looks just like him." He said, "I am." They brought the one who was once blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened his eyes on a Sabbath. So then the Pharisees also asked him how he was able to see. He said to them, "He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I can see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." The others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What do you have to say about him since he opened his eyes? Since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." They answered and said to him, "You were born totally in sin, and you're trying to teach us?" Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered and said, "Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and the one speaking with you is he." He said, "I do believe, Lord," and he worshiped him. So I think journal prompts that would go along with this passage would be, what spiritual sight, what does that look like in your life? We can see everyday things, but what does it look like to see spiritually? Are there places in your life where you might be missing what God is trying to show you? And have you ever discovered meaning or felt growth during a difficult season? And then finally, I think for me, instead of asking, why does this happen to me? I think we could journal, what am I learning from this? And what is God trying to show me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Leave me a message. And don't forget to subscribe so you can continue to hear God's Whispers.